Scientist testifies.
Suicide after allegedly being molested by a Catholic priest. Talk to some of their parents. Caution, you're about to enter a no-spin zone. In fact, it begins in 90 seconds.
Good evening, I'm Kieran Chetry. A happy ending to report in the case of the 7-year-old Philadelphia girl who witnesses say was grabbed kicking and screaming from in front of her home yesterday. Erica Pratt is safe and in police custody, and she's expected to be reunited with her family soon. Just a short time ago, a police official spoke about her ordeal.
She spent most of the day there trying to get out of her the duct tape that was binding her. She did eventually get herself loose, worked her way up the stairs. This is in a dark basement, worked her way up the stairs. The door was locked. She kicked the panel of the door and was able to get it open and get out of the basement.
And police are still on the lookout for 2 suspects, Edward Johnson and also James Burns, in connection with that kidnapping. The man who was recently the subject of a cross-country search related to the Elizabeth Smart kidnapping case appeared in a Salt Lake City court today. Lawyers for Brett Michael Edmonds want more time to answer the police evasion charges against him. Police are saying Edmonds was sought as a potential witness in the case, but never as a suspect. And we are back with more news for you coming up at the bottom of the hour. I'm Kieran Chetry. Now stay tuned. The O'Reilly Factor is coming your way next right here on the Fox News Channel.
Hi, I'm Bill O'Reilly. Thanks for watching us tonight. Jesse Jackson goes over the line. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points memo. Speaking to the Washington Times, Jackson insulted every law enforcement officer in this country when he said, quote, "There is a pattern of African Americans being beaten by the militia and killed by the militia," close quote. Jackson is now referring to the police in America as right-wing fascist militia. He goes on, quote, "Unarmed citizens being beaten and killed by the militia is an act of terrorism," close quote. And that's true. If innocent civilians are being systematically beaten in any country, that is terror. But it is not happening here in the USA, and Jackson knows it. According to Justice Department statistics, 44 million people had contact with the police in 1999, the latest stats available. Less than 1% of the 44 million contacts resulted in the police using force. Among African Americans, 2% of those that had contact with police were involved in a force-related situation. Those are incredibly small numbers in a nation this large and diverse. Jesse Jackson knows that. He knows police brutality is rare and it cuts across all racial lines. But Jackson doesn't care. He is bent on causing as much damage to America as he possibly can. He is subversive and intellectually dishonest. Jesse Jackson makes millions from the misery industry. The more people he can convince to follow him, the more money he makes. Think about it. Jackson is dependent on racial incidents for his power base. He needs discord in order to prosper. The latest census says that the earning power of African Americans in stable relationships is nearly that of whites in the same circumstance. Have you ever heard Jesse Jackson talk about that? Have you ever heard him talk about the collapsing public school system, in which 60% of black fourth graders can't read, primarily because Jackson and the teachers' unions oppose strict academic standards? I sincerely believe that most Americans of every race understand what's going on here. Jackson doesn't care about everyday Americans. He doesn't care about police brutality. When the Factor broadcast a tape of the cops wailing on a white guy in Georgia last week, Jackson didn't say a word. Jesse Jackson cares about keeping blacks and whites divided. He wants to polarize in order to keep his power. Demonizing American law enforcement, insulting the officers killed protecting all Americans, denigrating millions of his fellow citizens who do serve and protect. You want a definition of terrorism? That may be it, Mr. Jackson. Now, some memo. Now for an opposing point of view in the top story slot this evening. Joining us now from Chicago is Cliff Kelly, a radio talk show guy on WVON. Jesse Jackson, of course, will not appear on The Factor. What say you, Mr. Kelly?
How are you, Mr. O'Reilly? I can understand why he won't. I cannot say, it's usually even a broken clock is right twice a day. Everything you said, Bill O'Reilly, is just totally untrue. But starting off with the whole factor relative to the police brutality, He only said, and you read the Washington Times, those officers accused of brutality. Those are the ones that he was referring to as being terrorists and the militia. The Reverend has supported the police. He's helped them with union problems. He's done all sorts of things to help the police department.
I have the Washington Post article, Washington Times article right here.
Sure,
and very clear in the lead paragraph says Jesse Jackson yesterday equated police officers accused of brutality with terrorists, referring to police as militia. All right.
Yes, but going back to the previous comment, accused of brutality. Those that is what is being referred to as those being accused as the militia or identified as the militia. He's not talking about all police.
All right.
I was at Rainbow Push this morning.
I will cede you that point. All right.
Okay,
I will cede you that point. Okay.
Thank you. Thank you.
Maybe he isn't demonizing the good police officer.
Right. Exactly.
Maybe he's just saying, but by using the word militia, okay, the organized right-wing fascist, he is saying there's a police conspiracy in this country to keep blacks down. You know the statistics do not back that up.
Well, I wouldn't trust the statistics of
you don't
the
trust the
Justice Department.
Statistics, Mr. Kelly.
But I do.
Well, let me stop you there.
I do. No, hold on a
That's
minute.
what we have to base everything in this country on.
I do see what happens in my community. I know what happens in other communities throughout this nation. I do know for years that as far as the war on terrorism is concerned, Bill O'Reilly, black folks have been fighting that in this country ever since we were born here.
You guys can't get out of the past.
That's why they... Well, a lot of people don't. That's why the Jews say never again. And if you ever read anything, if you ever go to Israel, you'll have to go to Yad Vashem.
Certainly
they
you
do
would.
The same
Certainly
thing. So
you
do
would.
Other people, and I think that's the only way. If you forget the past, you got to.
I'm not forgetting about anything.
In the future.
I'm saying that Jesse Jackson is doing every American a disservice by demonizing the police here.
And
when the statistics don't back this up.
Do you agree with what happened the other day in Inglewood, California?
No, I don't. Do you agree with what happened in Catoosa County, Georgia?
No, I don't.
Okay.
I don't agree with that.
It happens across racial lines. There are bad police everywhere. You don't demonize.
Look at the African Americans who are in prison, Bill O'Reilly, for many instances for no reason. We've had 16 people right here in Illinois who were on death row who were found to be not guilty.
All right, let me drop another statistic on you. You want African American crime stats? All right, you ready for this? And this makes me angry, Mr. Kelly, because this is what you and Jackson should be talking about. 80% of violent crimes committed against African Americans, 80%, are committed by other African Americans. And 80%, Mr. Kelly. And you know who's capturing those felons? Police. Police are protecting you and your community. And Jackson is demonizing them.
And some police. 80% of white crime is done by white people. So that doesn't mean anything, Bill. I mean, yes, in black communities you get blacks. In the Ukraine, you get Ukrainians attacking Ukrainians. That doesn't mean anything. Of course, 80% of the crime on black people is done by black folks, such as more than 80% of white crime is done by white people.
No, the statistic is 74%.
Absolutely.
74%.
Okay, 74%. So we're talking about a 6% difference, and that makes a big deal? Listen,
no, but I'm saying to you
people commit
this.
crime for wherever they are.
The police
but look at how many
protects
people, Bill,
black Americans.
Do you think protects black?
Correct.
Let me ask you this. Do you think that more black people in this country take drugs than white people do?
I think probably on a proportionate basis, yes.
I'm not asking you on a proportion. I'm talking about by sheer number.
You can't do that because you're talking about 13% of the population.
Yes, 13% of the population, yet more in prison, Bill O'Reilly, for nonviolent criminal activity related to drugs. Well, you're talking about the system, and the system is bad news.
The system is designed to protect all Americans.
Let me ask you this. We have 4 white policemen, sheriff's policemen here in Cook County, going to an event, a social event given, by the way, by the sheriff of Cook County. One guy puts 4 guns on. Now, he's not even going to work, Bill.
Mr. Kelly, you can anecdote me all day.
They shoot after they chase 2 young black people in a car for 21 miles, shooting at them. They're all drunk.
You can anecdote it all day. I'm going to take the last word on this, okay?
Well,
and the last word on this is...
you're wrong about Reverend Jackson,
but
he's doing a great job.
He's doing
exactly the same.
This man has insulted all police officers.
There's
Mr.
police
Kelly,
over
I got to
with
take
him
the
right
last word.
now If they felt that they were insulted, they wouldn't be there helping to protect them.
Mr. Kelly,
not true.
You don't believe the statistics, and you have a right not to believe them. But the statistics say
that
less than 1%, and that's not a militia. And it's wrong for Jackson to keep polarizing the races, and for you, sir, to stick up for that polarization when it is absolutely hurting African Americans. But thank you for appearing.
He is not polarizing your races, and I would suggest that anyone that is doing so much more than he would ever attempt to do, which he has no reason to do, would be the O'Reilly factor.
Well, maybe so. I'm not making money off it. He is. Next, the justice system fails, and little Samantha Runyon is dead. How did Alejandro Avila beat the first child molestation charges against him? You'll be shocked. We'll talk with one of his lawyers in a moment.
If you get that each day can be a new adventure, you'll get the all-wheel drive Subaru Outback. And right now, you can get 1.9% APR financing on most Outback and Legacy models. Or lease a rugged new Outback for as low as $239 a month. And now you have a few more days to take advantage of this great deal. So get to your local Subaru dealer today. The all-wheel drive Subaru Outback. When you get it, you get it.
See your local Subaru dealer today for this great deal and our best selection of the year.
How do you build a 100-year heritage in communications and continue to lead even in times like these? By listening and answering. The guiding principle of the people at Bell South. Listening to our customers' wants and needs, answering with personalized product packages, comprehensive voice and data solutions, and committed customer service. Bell South is here today and here tomorrow. For answers that are right for you, call us. Bell South. Listening, answering.
Our favorite winter evening pastime was Father reading aloud to us as a family.
On this, our 100th anniversary, Physicians Mutual salutes our 100-year-old policy owners.
We used to sit around the piano and sing lots. Oh, I made quilts for all my children and my grandchildren, my great-grandchildren.
Physicians Mutual, proud to be 100.
I'm proudest of being the mother of my 4 children. God gave you those children, and He intended for you to take care of them. And that's what I tried to do. And now they're taking care of me.
We're here when you need us, Physicians Mutual.
The Impact segment is brought to you by Fidelity Investments, because you're not just invested, you're personally invested.
In the Impact segment tonight, is the legal system partially responsible for the death of 5-year-old Samantha Runyon? 2 years ago, Alejandro Avila, now under arrest for the murder of Samantha, was charged and acquitted with molesting 2 little girls in California, one of whom lived in the same apartment complex that Samantha did. First, Avila had a court-appointed attorney. Then he hired one John Posa, who got him acquitted. Joining us now from Riverside, California, is Richard Blumenfeld, the supervising deputy public defender for the Riverside County Public Defender's Office, who did have some meetings with Avila. What do you think of the man?
To tell you the truth, Bill, I don't have any recollection of Mr. Avila personally. I know I spoke with him on a couple of occasions, just simply to make sure that he was provided representation until such time as he could retain his own lawyer.
So he did pay for a lawyer. He got somebody that couldn't have been cheap, you know. Did the guy have any assets? I mean, how did he get assigned to you in the first place?
Well, the public defender is appointed as a matter of course in all criminal cases. That is to make sure that an accused
and we know that, counsel. We don't have to go through that. There's a sophisticated audience watching this program. The fact of the matter is he came to your office. You don't remember anything about him even now?
No, I really don't, other than I made 2 appearances for him, and then Mr. Posa substituted in, and I provided Mr.
And
Posa
do you have any notes on those
that
appearances? Do you have any notes or anything like that about him?
Well, I have some notes that I made, but anything that Mr. Avila told me would, of course, be attorney-client privilege.
Yeah, but I just want your impression of the man, because he did beat these charges, and it looks like now that was a major mistake.
Well, I don't know if that's a mistake. There are obviously several possibilities here. He may have been innocent of the previous crimes and guilty of this.
All right, well, let me throw some
guilty of
stuff
both
at you and get your reaction to it. First of all, he's guilty, all right? We can say that on television because we're analyzing the evidence that we know
I
about
don't
it.
concede that.
I know you don't.
I think that's tremendously premature.
Not to me. Our sources tell us there's DNA on the scene, his DNA on the scene. You think it's a coincidence that one of the girls that charges him with molestation, 9-year-old, lived in the same complex as Samantha did? I don't think that's a coincidence. Same color car.
I don't know anything about that.
Well, I just told you what it is.
They could have DNA results this quick. I don't know what they have. Do you know what they have?
Yeah, I know what they have.
Have they told you what they have in the way of forensic evidence?
They say that they have DNA linking him up and fiber linking him to the scene. That's what they've told Fox News.
And what is that supposed to be? What sort of
They didn't get any more specific than that, but I believe them. See, you don't, I do. That's the difference between us.
Well, I don't disbelieve them. I just don't have enough to...
In your case, did you know, were you aware that he flunked the lie detector test in your case? You aware of that?
When I had the case, there was no lie detector test. I have no idea
he flunked
whether
the lie
or not he even
detector
submitted
test.
to one.
And this is an interesting question. If you knew he had flunked the lie detector test and you had represented him, would that have made any difference to you?
Not a bit.
That's what I thought. See, I think millions of Americans are like me. We understand the system, and the system is good. Everybody needs a defense. But you, counselor, don't have to take every case that comes your way. You know that. There's a statute that says...
No, I do.
No, you don't. There's a statute that says... I have to educate you lawyers all the time. There's a statute that says that if you find the case morally repugnant, you don't have to take it. So that's flat out on the books. You can reject the case, so don't hide behind that.
What book is that you're referring to, Mr. O'Reilly?
Right. It's in the law books.
I'm a public defender.
That's
I am
right.
appointed. I represent people who can't
And before the
afford to
case
hire a
starts, you
lawyer.
can go to the judge and say, Judge, for reasons of conscience, I can't represent this man. He'll put another public defender.
Then I have no business being a public defender.
What? So you have to take every case, even if you know the guy's guilty, you have to take and try to get him off?
I have to do my best to represent him as vigorously as I can within the bounds of ethics.
If you know the guy molested if the guy says to you, I molested these little girls, and you know he did, but he's not going to plead guilty, you still going to try to get him off?
I'm still going to represent him and try the case and put the people to their proof.
That's disgusting and
No, it
reprehensible.
isn't. That's what the obligation of the
If you know he's guilty, then you won't put him on a stand because he perjured himself.
I will not put him on the stand.
That's right. But you know he's guilty. You know he's guilty of molesting 2 kids. You're still going to try to get him up and put him on the street. That's disgusting.
I am going to put the people to their proof, which is what, in a civilized society, the law requires of me.
But it's not morally repugnant, right?
Mr. O'Reilly, give me a second. If you went to a doctor because you had a loathsome disease, and the doctor said to you, gee, Mr. O'Reilly, that's really ugly. I don't think I can treat that. How would you feel? We are professionals. We act professionally. We act responsibly and within the bounds of ethics. We do not sit in judgment of our clients.
All right. Now, let me answer that.
Juries.
You compared apples to oranges.
That's why we have prosecutors.
No. If you know that Avila is guilty and molested 2 girls, 9 years old, and you try to get him off on whatever technicality or try to shake those girls like his lawyer did and put him back out on the street, and then he kills a little 5-year-old, that's on you, counselor, because you can go to the judge and you can say, this man is morally repugnant, I can't represent him in good conscience.
If it were me, I would feel very badly and very conflicted. I'm a parent, too. I read the story. I was as outraged and horrified as anybody else would be who is a parent. But I have to separate that to be able to do my job.
There is a legal statute that says you can bail on that case if it's morally repugnant to you. Read the books. It's there. We researched it, and it's there.
Where is the statute? Just because you say so doesn't make it so.
It's 169-1 or something. You can find it. It's there. All right, Counselor.
-1 of what?
I think we've got it, and I don't have it off the top of my head, but it's there. It's in the law.
Well, maybe you can find it.
Yeah, we found it, and we've also read it on this broadcast.
If I found the case morally repugnant, I could probably get some kind of dispensation, so I wouldn't have to do it.
Thank you.
I could probably do that, but that would be as a matter of policy, not as a matter of right.
All right, Counselor, I think we all know what the story is now, but we appreciate you coming on and defending it.
Well, I think you know what the story is, but I'm not sure that anyone knows what the story is at this point.
We'll let the audience decide. They're the best arbiters of this. Ahead on The Factor, 5 people commit suicide in Kansas. Wait till you hear why. Right back.
Coming.
LL Bean clothing and gear is made to go anywhere. There's a reason you can count on it to perform.
How was it? Boots and jacket were good. The new clips on the pack work great.
Because virtually everything we sell has been field tested first by LL Bean employees, resulting in better materials and performance that's guaranteed. For genuine LL Bean gear, call or shop online.
What can a canoe teach us about investment banking? You cover more distance when you work in tandem. Whether you get soaked depends on proper balance. Wisdom is everywhere. Uncommon wisdom is knowing how to apply it. Wachovia Securities.
Thursday on The Pulse, she killed her sons. She said she had to. After hearing her story, would you convict her? Then factor this, the gay rights controversy.
Mr. O'Reilly, I think you're a bigot.
You can call me any name you want. Just don't tell me what you do in your bedroom.
Plus, Lori Dew reports on the fat cure.
Our drug not only allows you to eat less, you don't binge and rapidly regain your weight.
Is it a medical miracle? The Pulse at 9, Fox Thursday.
Summer Jam. Cadillac. Breakthrough.
Hi, Pam Paulette at City Liquidators Furniture Warehouse. Join me for a quick tour of our fabulous selection of furniture and accessories. City Liquidators is 5.5 football fields full of furniture. That's a lot of furniture. Brand name furniture, new in a box. It's fun, it's funky, totally wild and crazy. You gotta see it to believe it. Our customers tell us there's no other store like it in the world. Whether it's for your home or office, City Liquidators has something for everyone. We're celebrating 25 years of great deals, so come join the fun at City Liquidators Furniture Warehouse.
The Unresolved Problem segment tonight. Watch out, teachers. If you flunk a student, you may be sued. All over the country, angry parents are suing school teachers who flunked their kids. In some cases, the lawsuits are simply outrageous. With us now is Walter Olson, Senior Fellow at the Manhattan Institute. We'll have a short time with you because of the shootout I just had with the counselor, which I still can't believe. But give us an example of what's going on.
There was just one reported from Arizona where a young woman was flunking a class. She had not been doing the work, and just as graduation was approaching, what happens but teacher gets a letter from a lawyer saying, this girl is going to pass her course, she is going to graduate, or I'm going to make your life so miserable. And teacher wants to resist. The teacher thinks this is outrageous, and the school buckles. School caves in.
So how old was this girl? What was the subject?
She was a high schooler, and
senior, so 17 or 18.
Yeah, and this turns out not to be such an isolated instance. There are cases around the country where, you haven't done the work, you've got a good enough lawyer, you graduate anyway.
You know, how prevalent is it, though? It sounds outrageous in the sense that this is basically a shakedown. They basically say to the teacher, look, if you flunked a kid, we're going to sue you. You're going to have to, hire a lawyer. And the school board says to the teacher, we're not going to back you up. You better pass this kid. This is, it seems to me, almost criminal in the sense that you could, if I were the teacher, I would call the police and say, I'm being threatened here.
Well, it teaches an incredibly bad lesson to the students, above all.
Of course.
Yeah. And I think the teachers and the principals that I talk to say you never hear about the cases, by and large. Hardly any of them get to court. They're all resolved simply by settlement, quote unquote. Which
arbitration or something like that.
Or the school makes the concession, and that's how they settle.
But see, if the school makes the concession, then you might as well close the school. Because that's going to get around, and every parent, say, okay, look, Not every parent. I mean, there are some parents who are responsible. But when you see something like this, it just seems to me that there is an element of threat involved here.
Oh,
is
yeah.
there not?
There definitely is, and that's, in my view, the happy ending of the Arizona case is that the state bar association or bar regulators are investigating the lawyers, saying,
good,
you can't send just any old letter. It has to have some legal merit.
That's right. Excellent. So there we have a solution. If a lawyer oversteps his bounds in the sense that you can go to the State Bar Association and complain about that lawyer.
And hats off to the Arizona authorities for doing that.
Right. Other cases around the country?
There was one from Ohio reported recently, I'm happy to say that it seems to have been thrown out of court, where the girl was late and late again and late some more. And she was suffering academic consequences for this, and her mother said, well, she has a special disability. You didn't know she had a disability, but it makes her late. And
what's the disability that makes you late?
I asked the parents.
Punctually challenged?
The school didn't take it, and I'm happy to say neither did the judge.
All right, so this was a bogus excuse made up. It used to be the kids made up the bogus excuses.
And now
it's the parents.
They get the authority figures to do it for them.
Oh, my God. All right, so you don't see this as a major trend. And the way to fight it is, if you're a teacher or a school official, if you get a letter like this, basically go right to the Bar Association, right?
Well, go to the school board and school district and hope that they have the backbone that many of them don't.
Well, if they don't, I mean, I take it myself, if I were the principal or the teacher, because I was a teacher. Somebody did this to me, right to the Bar Association. Mr. Olson, thanks very much. We appreciate it. Plenty more ahead as the factor moves along this evening. Congressman Gebhardt wants to legalize people who have snuck into the USA. We'll tell you what he's up to. And 5 young Americans commit suicide after allegedly being molested by the same priest. Right back.
They both worked hard. Took care of business. Took care of their families. So why will one leave his loved ones with every advantage, while the other leaves everything to chance? Some people already know our financial representatives excel at a lot more than life insurance. Northwestern Mutual Financial Network. Are you there yet?
The human spine. Through it, nerves run to the brain, sending messages to the body. SBC works the same way. Only our backbone, our networks, send vital signals to communities, companies, families. The nearly 190,000 people at SBC are here to say they're proud of what they've built and how they've built it. That takes a bit of backbone, too. A big company, a big responsibility. Infinite Service, SBC.
Thursday on The Pulse, she killed her sons. She said she had to. After hearing her story, would you convict her? Then factor this, the gay rights controversy.
Mr. O'Reilly, I think you're a bigot.
You can call me any name you want. Just don't tell me what you do in your bedroom.
Plus, Lori Dew reports on the fat cure.
Our drug not only allows you to eat less, you don't binge and rapidly regain your weight.
Is it a medical miracle? The Pulse at 9, Fox Thursday.
What's the population of Morocco?
30,645,305. If you like, I can break it down demographically.
He knows everything in the world.
How many M&M's coming up?
Plain 60, peanut 25.
How many bones in the human body?
206.
How many dimples in a golf ball?
336.
What is the capital of Zimbabwe?
Harare.
Do the phone book again.
White or yellow?
Everything except who he is.
I need to report a missing person.
Filled out a form 3021-B.
I'm the missing person.
Who is John Doe? Fridays, Fox Ball.
Balance. If you don't have balance, you can get into a lot of trouble. At Fox & Friends, we believe that you deserve news fair and balanced every day of the week. That's why we bring you a brighter side of news that will wake you up faster than a cup of joe. And when there's vital information that affects you, your family, or your nation, we bring the guests and cover the globe to get you answers. So keep your balance every day with Fox & Friends on the network America trusts for fair and balanced news.
The Factor follow-up segment tonight, House Minority Leader Richard Gebhardt, a Democratic congressman from Missouri, told a cheering crowd of Hispanics that he favors granting permanent residency to illegal immigrants who have been in the country for more than 5 years. The last president to do that was Ronald Reagan back in 1986, and as you know, President Bush has mulled this kind of policy over, but has abandoned it in the wake of 9/11. But is rewarding illegal behavior the right thing to do? Joining us now from St. Louis is Dr. Ken Warren. He teaches political science at St. Louis University. Dr. Warren is a friend of Richard Gebhardt's. A congressman, of course, will not appear on The Factor for reasons we cannot determine Herman. Hey, Doctor, you got to tell him to come on here. I mean, we got Carey, we got Lieberman, we got Edwards, got all the players except for Daschle and Gebhardt. And I mean, you know, it's getting ridiculous now. Now, do you support this policy of this amnesty for immigrants?
Well, I think you're actually wanting to know whether Gebhardt supports it or not.
Well, he obviously does. I mean, do you? Do you think it's a good thing?
It may be a good thing. All Gebhardt is considering, Bill, is just whether or not illegal immigrants should be allowed to come in the country. What he said the other day in his Miami speech was that at least these immigrants should be considered, and there are millions of them, but there are certain conditions he put on them that they have to be.
Why are we doing this? In a way, look, Gebhardt knows, and you know, and I know, that under President Clinton, illegal immigration just exploded. It went from 3.9 million to 9 million. I mean, it more than doubled in the 8 years that Bill Clinton was in office. And the reason was because economy was good, borders weren't enforced, companies using the cheap labor coming in and all of that, all right? But the disaster that's befallen us because of that is terrorism, because these guys who attacked us were all in this country illegally.
But why can't this help out?
What?
Why can't I mean, what he's looking for is to essentially bring illegal immigrants out of the shadows and to document the fact that they're in the country.
Well, then have them register to a guest worker program, and let's do it in an orderly fashion rather than rewarding illegal behavior.
The other thing is, Bill, he doesn't want to let in any illegal immigrants. He wants to actually qualify them. And so that would bring him out of the shadows. And what he's trying to say is that, well, let's consider letting him in. Let's look at the type of immigrant you're talking about. Has this person been in this country for 5 years or more? Has he been working in the United States and been contributing to the U.S. economy for 2 years at least?
But what kind of message
has this person been a problem?
What kind of message does that send to poor people who are playing by the rules? We're waiting at the American embassies in Dublin and in Pakistan and in Indonesia who would like to come here and obey the rules. I mean, they're going to say, hey, look, I got snuck in there and now and got my residency, but I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to break their law. I respected their law, and now these people are being rewarded for breaking the law. That's what it is.
Bill, there's no question that you're right on certain points, but you know, I just came back from teaching in Europe, and I'll tell you, they have a terrible problem with immigration in Europe, and we have a problem with immigration in the United States as well.
But we shouldn't.
The problem is, though, you can't just avoid the obvious, and that is that there are a lot of illegal aliens in your country.
Yes, you can.
But the problem is, how do you deal with those
Here's the way to deal with it, Doctor, and this is why I would take Congressman Gebhardt to task if he ever had enough courage to come on the program. I understand that the strength of this country is people who want to come here and make a good life and who contribute to the economy in many different ways. But I want it done in an orderly way. And all we have to do is say to the people, the 9 million of them in here illegally, look, you have to go back now. We'll give you a certain card to your country and register. If you've been here and a law-abiding citizen and you paid your taxes and you've done the right thing, you are going to take that into consideration when granting you a work visa here. But you've got to do it in an orderly way. Look,
you know, I don't know if he opposes that, really.
Well, it doesn't matter because he's trolling for votes here is what he's doing.
But, Billy, the problem is he's trying to deal with the reality that there are millions and millions of illegal aliens in the country. You say
9 million.
Rewarding them. Yeah, he said that he would be rewarding him. I think what Gephardt's saying is that I'm not rewarding him. I'm just considering whether or not we should allow some of these illegal aliens to stay. And every country in the world practically is dealing with that same problem because they can't seal their borders completely.
But we could. Well, Doctor, look, we appreciate your coming on, and I hope you pass our best along to the Congressman. We'd love to hear his point of view sometime. Thank you.
My pleasure, Bill.
When we come back, the most controversial story of the evening and the most tragic. 5 young Americans kill themselves after allegedly being molested by a priest. We'll talk with 2 of their parents in just a few moments.
Good evening, I'm Kieran Chetri. The 7-year-old Philadelphia girl kidnapped in front of her home yesterday is safe and sound tonight, but police are still on the hunt for her kidnappers. Erica Pratt was able to gnaw through the duct tape binding her hands and feet. She broke out of an abandoned home where she was held. Investigators say she is tired and shaken, but otherwise doing okay. Now police are hunting for 23-year-old Edward Johnson and 29-year-old James Burns, 2 Philadelphia men with long rap sheets. Funeral services for 5-year-old Samantha Runyon will be held in Garden Grove, California tomorrow night. Meantime, Alejandro Avila, the man charged with her kidnapping and murder, is expected to be told within the next 2 weeks whether or not he'll face the death penalty. Police arrested him Friday, acting on a tip. Corporate ethics, accounting ethics, and now banking ethics at the center of a growing Enron scandal. A Senate investigator testified that major investment banks extended multi-million-dollar loans to Enron. Those loans helped the now bankrupt energy giant hide its financial troubles. The investigator charges the banks knew that Enron was using deceptive accounting to qualify for the loans. And Pope John Paul II resting at a secluded retreat outside Toronto tonight. He arrived today and will take part in World Youth Day events this week.
Move fast for Suzuki's new 0-0 event. Right now, you can get 0% APR financing for 5 full years with 0 down payments on all Suzuki models, like the XL7 Limited with available third-row seating, and the 141 horsepower all-new Aero GS sedan. Move fast. Don't let the 0-0 event run out. 0% financing for 5 years and 0 down payments on all models until July 31st. Go now. Visit your Suzuki dealer today because these deals are going fast.
Hundreds of movies, millions of emotions. Star Super PAC. Up to 12 movie channels for about $12 per month. Call 1-800-SUPER-PAC.
Boy, today was a real roller coaster. Started out good enough. Little tech rally here, some large cap action there. By 11, we're in a full-fledged rally, and I am one very happy bovine. Then, out of nowhere, this institutional fund starts selling, and like that, it's all over. Everyone's yelling, everyone's selling. Next thing I know, we're in a, well, let's call it a pre-rally decline. By the closing bell, not only has the market given back all its gains, but we're down like 2 points. I do hope you're happy.
Did you say something? No matter how fast the markets move, Ameritrade Advantage can give you an edge. Real-time streaming quotes, level 2 quotes, and current time and sales information all on one page. And you can trade from the same page. Open a cash account with $1,000 and get 25 internet equity trades commission-free. Go to Ameritrade.com.
Did I tell you today was a real roller coaster?
Thanks for staying with us. I'm Bill O'Reilly in a personal story segment on an unbelievable sequence of events in Kansas. The parents of 5 young Americans, ages 21 to 31, all of them former altar boys, say the young men committed suicide at different times because a Catholic priest allegedly molested them. The priest, Robert Larson, is serving 3 to 10 years in prison after pleading guilty to child molestation in other cases. But in this case, one after another of his alleged victims took their own lives. Joining us now from Wichita, Kansas, is Rachel Rodriguez, the mother of Gilbert Rodriguez, who shot himself at age 31. She's also the aunt of Paul Tofola, who intentionally took an overdose of drugs at age 31. And Horace Patterson, the father of Eric Patterson, who shot himself at age 29. Mrs. Rodriguez, why are you convinced that your son's suicide and your nephew's suicide is tied to this priest?
Well, from the time they were teenagers, I noticed a change. They both seemed to have little depressions, and I didn't understand why. Their lives weren't in any way that they should have had that, and it was puzzling. And when my son committed suicide, it was very devastating, and more so when my nephew committed suicide, I knew there had to be a common denominator, and that's what I was searching for. And for 6 months between their deaths, I couldn't find any. There was nothing. And then I lifted the paper, the Wichita Eagle, to read it, and there was a picture of Larson and Eric Patterson, and I just, there was a common denominator.
All right, but so the boys never really discussed this with you. They never said, this priest did this to me.
No, they didn't.
All right. Now, Mr. Patterson, how about in your case, why are you convinced that your son's suicide was the result of this priest?
Well, Eric did write a letter to the bishop regarding this. He told his sister a few months before he committed suicide, molested by Robert Larson. That was the first time we found out about it as well. And it was very traumatic for Eric. None of us knew of this, and he also had it in letters, and his doctor had it documented as well. When Eric was in the hospital, he would start fasting, and we really didn't know why. But his sister asked him, when did you start having problems with things? And she thought it would be like late teens. And he said, well, it all started when I was 12 years old and I was molested by Robert Larson. And that's the first time we ever heard of it.
All right. Throughout your son's teenage years, was he a happy boy? Did you see any change in personality in him or anything like that?
Well, there was a few things like any boys going through adolescence. I know it's kind of a reach for people trying to connect the dots, but if you look at all of Eric's records, he had some eating disorders. It all pointed towards that. Like I say, I know it's difficult sometimes for people to link that up, but we did a lot of research after Eric's death, and we knew that he had been molested. The other thing that was not more devastating than Eric's death, but the fact that our Wichita diocese knew that he was a pedophile when he was in our parish. And when we found that out, that was when we stopped going to church.
All right, so it was a pattern of behavior that we saw in Boston, in Los Angeles, and other dioceses around the country where this guy was accused. They sent him out to treatment. He came back, and we know the story. Absolutely. Now, Mrs. Rodriguez, are you firmly convinced that your son and nephew's problems were directly tied into this priest, or were there other elements involved here?
Well, I feel like if nothing else, it was the foundation, because I think from the time they were teenagers, this created a pattern for them, and they constantly tried to, I could just see aspects of their life where they tried to do better, and either with education or in different ways, and they just never seemed to reach that happiness.
All right.
They just seemed troubled.
Was your son, did he, I'm going to ask the same question I asked Mr. Patterson, did he undergo personality change at a certain time? Did you see him become more morose or troubled?
With my son, yes, I did. I seen where there was times that he would drink, and it didn't really fit his personality, and I could see the pain. I just never understood it. I didn't know why it was there.
Okay. Now, none of the families, interestingly enough, and you know this guy's in jail, has filed civilly against the Catholic Church or him. Why not, Mr. Patterson? Why haven't you gone after him civilly?
Well, in Kansas, there's a statute of limitation that bars that. The 4 victims that finally had him committed, they fit within the statute of limitation criminally, and this is why he's in jail today. We're hoping to get the statute of limitations dropped here in Kansas as it's been dropped in other states. But part of our main concern is to alert parents that, yes, this can happen. It's a day you can't take back. You watch for patterns. Eric had some eating disorders where he would start fasting, trying to atone for evidently what happened in the past. But I wanted to mention something briefly. When Eric told his sister that he'd been molested in the hospital, when she left that night, it was so traumatic for Eric that they found him on the floor, beating his head on the floor, and they put him on suicide watch that night.
How old was he then?
29. This is a very articulate, sharp, intelligent young man. And these pedophiles do this for pleasure. It's sick for them to think about it, but believe me, it's for pleasure.
No, listen, we believe you. I mean, there's no sympathy in this quarter for these men. I mean,
I want to ask you something real quick, Bill.
Sure.
If somebody in your staff you found was a pedophile, would you associate with that person?
No, they'd be handed over to the authorities in a second if we could prove it.
Our local Bishop Gerber counted Father Larson not too long ago as one of his best friends for 40 years. Why would they even associate with pedophiles?
Well, that's a very interesting question, Mr. Patterson. All I can tell you is I'm a Catholic, as you are, and as you are, Ms. Rodriguez, are baptized. But I separate the faith from the church. I separate the doctrine from the men. And I'm calling for Cardinal Law and all of the other bishops who covered this up to be arrested. I mean, that's the way we feel here. We want them to be arrested for aiding and abetting.
They have blood on their hands.
Absolutely. They have blood on their hands. I couldn't have put it better, Mr. Patterson. Mr. Rodriguez, Mr. Patterson, we thank you very much for appearing with us. We, of course, feel terrible for your loss.
Bill, we do have a website for this.
Go ahead.
WE-RARE alert. And that's R as for always remember Eric.
All right. Thank you very much, both of you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
In a moment, a father loses his son to drugs, and now it's payback time. We'll have that story as the Factor continues.
The O'Reilly Factor is brought to you by Terminix.
Hey, welcome.
What's with all the lights? Keeps the roaches out. They hate lights.
Cheese? Cheese?
Here's a better idea. More homeowners trust Terminix to solve their pest problems. Call 1-800-TERMINX.
Working hard or working out, nutrition is important. With Centrum or Centrum Silver, you benefit from what science discovers about how the right multivitamins help unlock energy and strengthen immunity. Centrum and Centrum Silver, always complete from A to zinc.
With a few sunny breaks with a high of 50.
God, is that Susan?
Carol, is that you? My God, Susan, you're off the streets. You look so beautiful.
Join the Cadillac Summer Jam for this attractive offer.
Don't travel the world for the unique and unusual. We already have. Hi, I'm Ellie with City Liquidators. Come see our huge selection of wool rugs or try this high-heeled shoe chip for $1.99. Angel clock, $39, or maybe you need a fountain or a hand-painted screen. Remember, we have over 500 mirrors and prints in stock. City Liquidators Furniture Warehouse, a great place for accessories.
Summer Drive. 0% APR for 5 years on any 2002 Pontiac. You might as well be walking on the sun. Or choose $3,000 cash back. Now at your Oregon and Washington Pontiac dealer.
In the back of the book segment tonight, 19-year-old Steven Steiner Jr. died of an overdose of narcotics in January of 2001. Unfortunately, this is not a rare occurrence in America. What is rare is what Steven's father has done in the wake of his son's death. With us now is Steven Steiner Sr. Before we get to the website and the program that you're implementing, I want to find out a little bit about Steve. He was drug involved. Did you know it?
Well, Stevie was an electrician. He was a partier on the weekend. You know, that's where he got into the drugs. And
did he live at home?
He was living at home.
So he'd come back stoned once in a while?
Well, yeah, he would drink and he'd come back stoned.
And you know it?
I told him not to do it, but you know, he was 18.
Let's discuss that. How early did the drug involvement start?
Well, he started when he was 13.
When he was 13. Yep. So you knew that your son was a druggie or liked to get intoxicated from a very early age.
Yeah.
Was there anything that you could have done that you didn't do?
Well, we did do something. And that was we got the authorities involved by getting him arrested when he stole my credit cards.
So you did some tough love on him?
Oh, absolutely. He did 3 months in youth detention center.
But it still didn't change his...
Well, it did for a long while until he became 18 and went to Florida. And well, he went to Florida because we were slow up in upstate New York, and he got himself a job, but was hanging with the wrong guys.
All right, and began taking drugs again.
Yep.
All right. So then he dies. Now, many Americans would say, hey, It's his own fault. He's 21. Nobody forced him to take drugs.
Well,
what would you say?
What I would say is this, that Stevie, you know, he was a working kid. He was making a lot of money, $1,000 a week as an electrician. He was hanging with the wrong people. The people he was hanging with were the ones that should be protecting him. Didn't happen that way. And when I get that phone call, it just made me really damn mad, and that's why we started the website.
Right.
And,
well, I'm glad you started the website. We'll tell everybody about it in a moment. But I think your son has to bear partial responsibility for what happened to him.
Well, he did, Bill. He died for it. He died for his actions.
Right. So when you say the wrong crowd and all this, the message that I want to get across to young people and their parents is you got to draw a line. That you've got to, particularly in your late teens, you've got to come to the realization that this could kill me. And this is certainly you and your wife must have been devastated throughout the whole process.
Yeah, we were very devastated. And
right. Not just the death, but all of the problems that you had.
Well, you know, the thing is, again, Stevie was in Florida with his brother and with his biological mother, and those were the ones that should have protected him, and they were a part of the problem. And
right.
You know, they were a partner in his death.
Okay. Now, you've set up a website. All right, we want to put the website on the screen. And you're asking for tips about illegal drug activity?
Absolutely.
All right. Is it more focused than that? Is it just kids, or is it any kind of narcotics?
No, any kind of narcotics, prescription, illicit drugs, marijuana, cocaine, heroin. We want them to go and leave tips on our site. They're totally anonymous. We would like, though, some of these tipsters, or all of them, to leave an email. We ask them to go get a fictitious email with Yahoo or whoever. That way law enforcement can communicate with them, and it makes the tip better, and law enforcement is, you know, using our tips.
Now, have you found that they are encouraging you to do this? Are they open to you providing them with information?
Oh, absolutely. The state police in New York and Broome County, and we have law enforcement agencies now in 15 states, and we're up to 44 at this point.
Okay, so have any of them said, gee, I don't really want this kind of information?
Well, no, none of them say that. There's some that haven't signed up with us at this point. But the ones that do...
But if you get an individual tip, say I have a call from Tampa, Florida, and I say, look, there's a big heroin dealer living next to me, you guys, and you call it Tampa PD, and you say, hey, I got some information here. So I guess it goes from police department to police department.
Absolutely, right? But if I can't find a law enforcement agency to pick it up, like in Tampa, we do have tips in Tampa, by the way. We went to the FDLE, Florida Department of Law Enforcement, and we've given them the tips.
All right, so you'd find somebody in the area to help you.
Yep.
I like this program, and I think that Americans have a responsibility to report. You know, some people say it's intrusive, you're snooping around and all this, and I don't buy that at all. Because what happened to your son happens to thousands of American kids.
Well, absolutely, and it doesn't just stop there, because we do education. We educate grades 5 through 12. We go out and tell Stevie's story, and that's been a great success. We've
there's no reason why your son should be dead.
No, he shouldn't be.
No, he shouldn't be. But again, personal responsibility is the key to a happy life and productive life in America. But we have to make it more difficult for the parasites to operate.
Absolutely, and we're doing that.
Right.
We're actually doing it.
Because anybody, as I said, who sells drugs is a parasite, and it's a crime against humanity, because you never know what's going to happen to the person you sell the drug to.
That's right.
All right. Mr. Shiner, thanks very much. We hope we get a big reaction from the Factor audience, and continue to do your good work. And we're very, very sorry about your son.
Use all the donations we can, sir.
All right.
Thank you very much.
We'll wrap things up with the most ridiculous item next, and some of your mail.
It was a client's dream and a nation's journey to grow its standing in the global marketplace through the creation of its first investment bank. And in building on the trust they placed in us, their dream became our own. Because that was the dream of our client, the nation of China. And that is what we do at Morgan Stanley, one client at a time.
In an environment where the only constant is change, your business has to continually reinvent itself. Wouldn't it be nice if your infrastructure could do the same? It can, with ProLiant server technologies from HP, powered by Intel Xeon processors. Reliable, scalable, manageable, and built on industry standards. So your infrastructure can adapt to change just as quickly as you do.
Thursday on The Pulse, she killed her sons. She said she had to. After hearing her story, would you convict her? Then factor this, the gay rights controversy.
Mr. O'Reilly, I think you're a bigot.
You can call me any name you want. Just don't tell me what you do in your bedroom.
Plus, Lori Dew reports on the fat cure.
Our drug not only allows you to eat less, you don't binge and rapidly regain your weight.
Is it a medical miracle? The Pulse at 9, Fox Thursday.
Experience the new National Geographic Channel. Spectacular new shows. Around-the-clock adventure. The continuing story of life on Earth every day of the week. A new channel. A new National Geographic. Log on to nationalgeographic.com and request the new NGC. Always wonder.
His church immersed in scandal, the Pope visits North America. As the pontiff addresses his people, stay with Fox News Live for breaking updates and reports. Real journalism, fair and balanced.
Time now for the most ridiculous item of the day. A new study on marriage has data on what we knew already, that husbands soon forget marital spats, but women always remember, right, guys? A team of psychologists tested both men and women for their ability to recall arguments, and the ladies had all the details of all the fights, while the men were clueless. The conclusion that the brains of women are wired to feel and recall emotions more keenly. But can the ladies tell you who won the World Series 2 years ago? No, they can't. If they could, it would be ridiculous. And finally,